before we unveil the broader vision of Silencio of becoming the world's year's core AI or robotics, I would like to tell you a little story of how Silencio actually came to be. It was back in 2022 when my brothers and I first witnessed the power of using decentralized methods to capture data, to coordinate human behavior in order to create value for society. And I think that we were so captivated back then by the possibilities behind this. And being nature lovers ourselves, we felt that this could be a great opportunity to crowdsource environmental data. Now, having grown up with a father that has partial hearing impairment, we always knew the problem of noise pollution and making sure that we have the right tools in order to take the right decisions we lacked back then. And this is how essentially we decided to focus on noise pollution. Now, why noise pollution, you might ask yourselves? It's probably one of the most underrated problems in terms of environmental risks that we suffer today. In fact, noise pollution is responsible for a staggering $5 trillion cost on an annual basis to our world economy. This is huge, and most of you probably do not know that the noise or hearing loss is actually the second most prevalent health issue. And the main reason for this is not your age, it's going to be the exposure you have to noise in your life. We're losing millions of healthy life years every year, and it was about time that we started understanding this problem. So this is how the idea of Silencio came to be. We created a decentralized network that enabled anyone across the globe to use their smartphone to capture their surrounding noise level data readings and get rewarded for that. Basically, imagine walking through your neighborhood and being able to capture that noise level data ATVA, being able to check yourself into hotels or restaurants and deliver that objective data view. Now, what started as a mere experiment back then quickly turned out to be something much bigger. A small community of enthusiasts turned this into a community of over 1 million individuals delivering data here on a daily basis from over 185 countries. And our community has been so active, and I'm so grateful for that, that they've been mapping the size of Paris in terms of geographical coverage on a daily basis. We've collected more than 1,300 years of data, which equal to approximately 12 million hours of data. Now, all of this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the Web3 equation, right? There are three main reasons that I want to outline here today why this Web3 approach really does wonders. On one side, we were able to scale 10 to 100 times faster than conventional Web2 counterparts. And this is mainly because we're able to bridge the chicken and the egg problem by creating fair rewards for users today that deliver value until the network's effects are reached, and that value is being able to capture and brought back to the creators of the value, eliminating those middlemen. And in fact, it worked so good that we were able, as a small startup back then, to scale to 1 million users faster than tech giants like Uber, Airbnb, or X. And this is only possible in Web3. Now, today I would like to showcase you some of the data products that our community has created today before we jump into our broader vision. We have created products that enable you to see noise levels, estimated noise levels at a hyperlocal level, and talking 24 square meters exactly, and with over 40 billion data points, we were able to map out almost the entire globe when it comes to urban places. There's almost no city in the world that does not have enough data for you to take a profit from that, for you to take insightful readings from that. You can take up any city and look for quiet restaurants for tonight, or a loud restaurant if you want to look for somewhere more lively. Look for quiet hotels. We created a Google Chrome plugin that enabled you to use our data seamlessly with all of your favorite platforms. Now imagine going to your next work conference and being able to find a quiet hotel for the first time without knowing the city before. Or maybe taking your family for a trip to Paris over the weekend, a very loud city, and being able to see how Airbnbs rank to one another from scores from A to F in order to take smarter decisions. And one integration that we're very happy about is the one with Google Maps. There's almost any location that you can click on the map and get insights, direct insight information on what is happening on the ground. Now we know that players like Google are starting to bet heavy on environmental data. They already bought up a company called Breezometer, which was the biggest aggregator for air quality worldwide, for a staggering $200 million. Now we are the Breezometer of noise level data today. And we know that it's only a matter of time until really that comes to fruit. Now, our community was also very active when it came to delivering data sets that were not being actively rewarded, like our noise complaints. We have over 200,000 noise complaints that have been registered that have enabled us to give rich data sets to research institutions, universities, and governments alike to take smarter choices in terms of how to design life differently, improving the lives of many, and creating research papers. Now, one product that I'm very happy about that is coming soon are our AI-driven noise reports. These are going to give you detailed overview of real estate locations. And imagine combining these with other environmental stats like air quality or pollen exposure, etc. We know that these are going to start shaping the way we value real estate in the future. Now, we know we're tapping into a market that is just in its infancy. Nonetheless, we have this first mover advantage, and we definitely want to make sure that to position Silencio the right way. This means that we're already available, or our data is already available on all the major data platforms. We're actively selling our data through aggregators, PropTech solutions, and travel platforms. We're running multiple pilot projects, and we're very happy to see where this will take you in the future. Now, as we talk about the future, I would like to pass on to Theo to tell us about what is next for Silencio.
So I think one thing is super clear when Thomas was pitching this, that we learned as a company that one of our superpowers is sourcing data from any corner of the planet. And I think that's equity that we want to expand on. Audio offers so much more value, not just decibels. And that's something that we want to continue building on. So happy to present you more on the future of Silencio.
Now, since the dawn of time, as Leonard was already telling us, we've been using voice since the dawn of human civilization to communicate with one another. It is the most natural and efficient way of communication. Now, in the last couple of decades, we went to communicate with technology on a very analog level, right? It's all through written text, it's through our keyboard, it's through our screen. And we know that this time, or this era, is about to end, and a new one is going to begin. We're going to go back to voice first. This means that we're going to be interacting with the machine economy of the future as natural as we're talking to one another.
And we think that this isn't just about robots responding to our questions and listening to what we have to say. It's much more than that. It's about perception. It's something that became super clear for us. And just as humans have to see and hear the world, so do robots. Now, Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, believes that everything that moves will be autonomous over time. We think so too. For this to happen, however, models today are largely trained on synthetic lab data, which, if you think about it, fails to capture the whole randomness and messiness of the world, the unpredictability of it. And that's really hard to fake. We think, and that's the problem, that robots and AI cannot hear the world today. They're really lacking the fuel to be trained on.
Now, we would like to give you a glimpse of what the future of Silencio looks like.
So the world's ears for AI and robotics, a pretty bold mission, which we are super excited to unveil today. We know that AI is missing this fuel, and we are pretty confident about the position in which we are to be able to source this. We got the foundation, we got users in over 180 countries out there, all willing to deliver data. Now it's up to us to create the right incentives and the right technology to deliver on that. Thomas broke down phase one of Silencio. Pretty exciting data products, all category defined. Now, in the next phase of Silencio that we're entering right now, we've been speaking to AI companies, and there's a massive signal coming. The ears of AI is a pretty bold statement, but we gotta get started somewhere, baby steps first. So the signal that we received is to focus on voice AI technology, source this from existing community members. I want to ask the audience right now if you can imagine how many languages there are in the world. And the answer is really 7,000 languages and 40,000 dialects. This is a conservative estimate by the UN. Now, how much of that linguistic diversity do you think AI models are being trained on today? The answer is really 1.4 to 3%. That's very little. And why? This is the opportunity. The data isn't there, and we think that we can capture that fast. Voice AI and speech recognition is a booming market. It's one that is going to surge well over $100 billion by 2030. It's one that Sequoia put as one of their top investment themes today. This demand is particularly driven by virtual assistants in healthcare, tourism, hospitality, restaurants. Everything that you're interacting today where another human picks up the phone, that's going to be voice AI.
Now, there are a lot of exciting data sets that we will be collecting initially. Given that we have such a broad community, diverse, and represented in over 180 countries, it means that we can source thousands of different languages and dialects. So one of the most exciting data sets is going to be the multilingual conversations that we will be creating, text-to-speech data, speech-to-text data, and commands and orders to power the next wave of AI and robotics. Last but not least, we have ambient sounds, which we plan on quickly turning these into one of the biggest catalogs for individual sounds. Imagine having 20,000 clips of maybe a dog barking to train your model, or 50,000 clips of a siren. All of this will be possible thanks to this amazing community. Now, how will we capture this value? Initially, we will do this through our brand new browser-based platform. Now, this means that we're expanding our data collection capabilities from smartphones to our desktop approach. We created a gamified and user-friendly browser experience that will enable all our existing users to start earning the rewards as they know them today on our platform. And what is super exciting as well, we're going to have direct bounties from AI companies that we're working with. So imagine if we need to source, for example, 10,000 hours of a Wolof dialect from Senegal, we could easily geofence to our user group in Senegal and give the bounty directed from the AI company directly to them for delivering that data. So this puts us in a position where we can be extremely flexible and efficient in terms of sourcing data, much more efficient than our Web 2 counterparts. Now, that will be available as a mobile version soon as well. And I would like to tell you about the applications that this data is powering. On the one hand, I know we have a lot of robotics and AI experts here today, so I don't need to go into too much detail, but from being able to interact with technology in the near future through voice first, this means that we want to envision a future where you're going to get even into your autonomous car, which, by the way, is going to be an AI buddy of yours. And if you're German, let's say from Munich here today, you're not only going to be talking in German with him, but in Bavarian. And we will be powering all of this. The same applies to the thousands of other dialects that we want to tackle. Imagine applying the same principle to your next Netflix movie you want to watch. Just changing the language and making it seem so seamlessly that it's not like your classical voiceover problem. Now, all of this is also going to be powering the next wave of robotics. We know that we're going to be going towards a world where we're going to probably have more robots than humans. This means that they need to be able to understand their surrounding, right? Your humanoid robot at home is going to probably hear your baby crying before you do, or the robot in the factory is going to hear the alarm going off and being able to react accordingly to avoid a dangerous situation. Now, the applications are very amazing and endless, but we'll move on for the sake of our time.
Let's talk about the juicy part, our business model. So in the last 3 months, in this reach out that we've been doing with AI companies, we got massive signal. And anyone building a startup knows how hard it is to get the attention of the big guys out there. We got it, and we have 5 pilot projects at the moment running with 5 of the largest AI companies out there. They've already requested well over 500,000 hours worth of data that today we still don't have. So it's a luxury problem. But there's one thing that we've proven in the last 3 years. We could source 12 million hours from 0 to 1 with 0 users to 1 million users. And we're pretty confident about the future to be able to source up to 100 million hours worth of data for them. Only the contracts given to us in potential deal size exceeded already in the last 3 months $25 million. But it doesn't stop there. To capture the entire value chain, we are building a platform that allows any developer to build their own applications with our voice AI datasets. And we're also expanding to further datasets across ambient sounds, commands, and the real world. Down the line, however, right now you're still selling the primary product if you think about it. So over time, the path forward for Silencio will be to develop its own AI models.
Now I'd like to talk a bit about the phase 3 of our project. We know that we can be training AI with data all we want. It's a massive opportunity that we definitely don't want to miss it. We're going to be one, ideally, of the first contenders when it comes to Web3 approaches. But we know that at some point, every extra hour of data you provide to a model, the improvement is going to end up being more marginal. We do not know how long this will last, but we definitely know that the future, the most valuable data will be live data. It will be the last 5 minutes of data followed by the next 5 minutes of data. This is your true USP as a Web3 network. And this is why we decided to look into creating Silencio Live Sound. Silencio Live Sound will be the future of Silencio. And we will be creating a decentralized network where we will enable millions of devices to live stream audio on an ethical level. And these devices could range from the 50 billion IoT devices that we're expected to be connected to the internet by 2030, all the way to your autonomous vehicles. We're going to be creating the world's live microphone system in order to power the next wave of robotics and AI. Ultimately becoming what we set out to become, the world's ears for AI and robotics. And some of the initial applications I would like to share with you today are quite exciting. Imagine digital twins being able to see live a city pulsating, right? See how a loud place compares to a quiet place as we speak. Imagine if we would have a car accident a couple of streets from here. And today, most likely, you would first check on the people, see how they're doing, and then maybe call the police or the hospital. But we would probably lose a couple of minutes until those emergency units arrive. What if we have enough devices on the ground, we could be not only detecting those events live, but be able to triangulate them to a very precise location, being able to transmit this information to the authorities to be able to send the rescue units as we speak. And this also means that in the autonomous vehicles that you're going to be sitting in the future, which, by the way, I heard that Uber is planning to come to Munich next year with the integration of autonomous vehicles, which will be super exciting. They're going to be hearing that siren before you, right? And it's not going to be through sound, it is going to be through communication. This means that it's going to go to the site well before you ever hear that siren. The applications are very exciting, and I would like to pass on to Theo to tell us how this value all gets captured and passed on to our community.
Now, we heard Web3 a lot today, and for those in the audience who are not so familiar with the concept, it really boils down to one simple idea: giving value back to those who create it. And in coordination with the Blockstone Foundation, we issue tokens to the ones who deliver value to our network. It's pretty simple. Anyone with a smartphone or a computer can join for free and deliver data. In return, they get rewarded for it. Now, when Silencio captures this data from the users and delivers it to clients, we're being paid in dollars, obviously. And that's the part where we take 75% of those revenues in coordination with the Blockstone Foundation and buy tokens off the open market and burn them. And through that, create a system that is deflationary by design. Now, blockchain offers much more than just rewards. It offers a railway to settle payments, obviously, across the world, but also, we've heard this from Leo in his presentation, we're giving users a unique machine ID. Through that, users are anonymized, and we actually store that consent even also on chain, demonstrating that we're sourcing data ethically. And this is particularly important in times of antitrust and data privacy becoming stricter and stricter. A word on the team. So we got a really phenomenal amount of people working for Silencio, and two of our closest team members. One of them is our co-founder Eric, who's not here today with us. He already has built, scaled, and exited a company, over 1 million users plus there as well. Maximilian is our CTO. He joined us last year. He's an AI expert. We're pretty confident with him. He's been in the space for 15 years. And he actually last year sold his AI business as well to an American insurance company. At this stage, I would like to thank investors who are also here present today, and those who are not, but for having believed in us since day one. Really appreciate ongoing support. Lastly, there's another thing we learned with Silencio. It's impossible to speak to all these stakeholders in the same manner. So what we're doing is really tailoring the communication for each stakeholder with individual websites. And so I visit community members at home and those here present to visit this afterwards. We look forward to building the world's ears for robotics and AI.
Thank you very much for coming.